People forget about their skin, and it is ultimately a reflection of your health. We forget that our skin is our largest organ, and your health is your hydration status, your nutrition status, how well rested you are, and all of those things will impact the appearance of your skin.
And get your sleep, because that is actually what gives you that radiance from within.
Acne can have multiple causes. You can have acne that's caused by fungal overgrowth, but you can also have acne that's related to bacterial overgrowth. Treating it with an antifungal without knowing the source of your acne can be really irritating to the skin, because you're not supposed to use these as daily face washes. You're supposed to use them under the guidance of a dermatologist as instructed once or twice a week. And so if you're using this every day, it can be really harsh on your skin and can actually damage your skin barrier. I don't recommend using any sort of antifungal on your face unless
If you had one piece of skincare advice that every woman could follow, what would that be?
Oh, Lord, I wish I would have done this when I was younger. Instead, I was young and dumb and loved the sun. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Scrubs to Stilettos with me, Dr. Nicole Martin.
And me, Dr. Tiffany Moon.
So today we're talking about skincare trends. And every day I get on TikTok or Instagram and I see some new trend that people are talking about, whether it's lubing your face up with Vaseline or doing absolutely nothing and doing this new cavewoman skincare trend. And today we are talking all about those trends. What is the truth? What's the science behind it? And whether it's a yay or nay for us.
Yes. So before we jump in, let's talk about this week's weekly obsession.
Okay, so I am getting ready for summer travels. I have like suitcases all over the floor, and I have found the perfect shoe for summer travel because, you know, you're out on the sand or you're doing one of these beachside dinners and you want to dress up, but you also don't want to wear like really nice leather shoes because they're going to get all destroyed with the sand. How cute are these like plexiglass?
Oh my God. I have some just like that.
You guys, these are by Schutz. I want to say they're like $120. So they're not super expensive. If they get destroyed by the sand, who cares? But the fact that they're like plastic, they match with everything. You can get them full of sand. You can get them wet. These are going to be my go-to this summer.
I love that. I have those, and I have the more expensive version, which is Gianvito Rossi. And there's an Amazon dupe and they're like $49 on Amazon. But basically, for those of you who are listening who can't see, it is a sandal that has a nude thin base and then two clear straps. So basically, they match with everything, and they really elongate your legs.
That's what I was going to say, because they're clear and they don't have an ankle strap. If you wear them with a short skirt, they really make your legs look like they last forever. So we'll link to the Schutz ones. We'll link the expensive ones. And then, Tiff, if you can find the Amazon dupe, we'll add that to the show notes too.
I have it. It's in my order history of Amazon. Yeah. Depending on where I'm going, it's like, which shoe do I wear? If it's like the beach, you know, I'm going to pack the cheaper ones.
Yeah, because you don't want to spend a ton of money on heels that are going to be in the sand, or, you know, when you're walking on a boardwalk and there's gaps in the wood and your heel gets stuck and you...
Yes, I have fallen through. And I got stuck on an escalator. Like my stiletto went into like the escalator grate, and then I had to pick the foot out of my shoe. And then my husband like saved my shoe right before the escalator like took that slat back. And I was like, oh my God.
That actually happened at BravoCon to Bryn Whitfield. Like her foot got almost swallowed by the escalator and her heel got stuck in there.
Yeah, I just stepped out of it because I'm like, I'm not allowed, but the escalator's going to eat my foot, and it almost ate my shoe, but my husband like picked it up and got it out. Yeah.
So those are my weekly obsession. How about you?
Okay. My weekly obsession is this pop socket. Ever since I discovered what a pop socket was, like I cannot hold a phone unless a pop socket is attached to it. So, you know, I have my whatever magnet thing, and then I put it here. And I didn't know this, but you can go on the pop socket website and make custom pop sockets with a picture of your dog, your company's logo, for example, the title of your book, Joy Prescription. You see? Yeah, it's so cute. And I just like, I cannot hold my phone without a pop socket anymore.
You're so used to having your finger around that.
Yeah, and it feels so heavy, like without it. I don't know. Yeah.
I haven't used a pop socket thing yet, but maybe I'll try.
Yes, I love it. So let us dive into the skincare hacks that we have seen come through our TikTok feeds. The first one is pretty easy. They are calling it cavewoman skincare, but it's basically you do nothing.
You do. So I think this is a result of the pendulum swinging in the opposite direction of the obscene 30-step skincare routines that we were seeing. Because there was definitely a point in time where we were seeing people do this 30-minute bedtime routine of skincare. They'd wash their face, then they would spray a toner, then they would splash some other thing, then it would be serums, then it would be creams, then they would put on some lip tape, and then they put on a bra for their chin. And it was like 70 layers of things that they did. And then they finally went to sleep. And they woke up and they undid all these things. That's ridiculous. We don't need 30 steps. But this is the extreme opposite of that. This is do nothing. Like, don't wash your face with anything other than water. Don't put SPF on. Don't put any creams on. Absolutely nothing.
I mean, when I was on vacation last week with my family at the beach, I almost did cavewoman skincare, but I still washed my face at night and I still put on SPF during the day. But I wasn't doing my usual like cleanse, tone, serum, moisturize, sunscreen, right? Which is my usual morning routine. It was literally like splash some water on, put some SPF. But I think this is fine, with the exception of SPF on days that you just don't feel like doing a lot.
So yeah, my problem with this is we are not living in cave women times, right? The ozone is not what it used to be. There's a lot of UV rays. You need to protect yourself against the sun. So if you don't want to do all these crazy expensive serums and face creams, at a bare minimum, wash your face. I think you should probably use some sort of cleanser, because if you're out during the day, there's pollutants, there's things in the air, they get on your skin, and water alone isn't going to clean that. I think you should use a cleanser and a bare minimum SPF.
Yes.
But doing no cleansing, no SPF, I think that's wild.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Sunny Smith, who's one of my best friends, who also was a speaker at Lead Her Summit, she does cavewoman skincare.
Nothing.
She does
Water.
Nothing. I think she washes her face at night, but I don't even know like with what cleanser, or like, you know, hotel bars of soap. Does not wear SPF, which is insane to me because she is so fair skinned. She's like
fair.
Irish and German and Dutch. And I'm like, you are going to get skin cancer. And she's like, I go to the dermatologist and get skin checks. And I'm like, please put on some SPF. I went to visit her and I literally brought her all this skincare because you and I get so much PR. I only have one face. I have about like 6 cans of, you know, SPF and moisturizer. And so I brought her like a whole set from all these different brands. And then I left it with her. And like 2 months later, I was like, have you tried any of the skincare that I gave you? And she was like, and I was like, you better try some of that. So, like, she's just like a happy-go-lucky, hippie, chic person. And it just doesn't fit within her lifestyle. But like, at least wear SPF.
Yeah. So cave woman means absolutely nothing, just water. And in our opinion, you should at least wash your face with a gentle cleanser. You don't have to do the 13-step skin routine, but please, please, please use SPF.
Yes. Okay. Number 2 that I have seen and personally done is called slugging. It doesn't have anything to do with slugs, actually.
Although we will
but
get
it
to
is
that one.
Yeah, but it is using petroleum jelly occlusion as the last step of your nighttime skincare routine. Nikki, have you tried this?
I have not, because I, one, don't want to like go to sleep with all this thick goopy stuff. I am a stomach and side sleeper. So inevitably, if I lubed my face up, it's just going to end up all over my sheets and pillows. I have like these really pretty Italian silk sheets that I just don't want my lube and all this stuff getting on. And I have combination skin, so I definitely have like greasier T-zone spots. So I do get shiny here. I mean, I'm shiny right now. I do get shiny here kind of in the forehead and here around my nose. So lathering my face up with lube, I feel like is going to make me break out in the T-zone areas that tend to be oily already. So for me, this is a solid no. because of my skin, I don't think that if you have acne prone skin, this is a good idea because it is very occlusive and it can be comedogenic, meaning it's going to clog your pores. But I think if you have really dry skin or you're out in the cold and all of a sudden your skin is very dry, I think maybe for a night or something, it could work to hydrate, but not every night.
Yes. Okay. I just want to make one small clarification because Nikki keeps saying lube, and I want to make it very clear that we are not using lubricant on your face, just to be 100% clear.
But Vaseline is used as lube by some people.
Who, ma'am, sir, please back up 2 steps and explain to me who is using Vaseline as lubricant for sexy time. Please, you tell me who's doing that. Have you done that? No,
I don't need lube.
I mean, I have some really good lube that's like organic and like it's supposed to taste good, although I've never tasted it. But you know, lube is great. Vaseline.
I feel like Vaseline is like
doesn't Vaseline like undo condom effectiveness or something? I don't know. You know,
okay. Like if you get a ring stuck on your finger, you like Vaseline on it to like lubricate the thing to take it off.
Yes, or so Crisco from the
like I just feel like Vaseline is very lubricating. So we're not talking about we're talking about Vaseline Aquaphor.
Aquaphor is what I use.
Emollient to seal all your products.
Yes. So let me explain the times when I have done it. In the winter, I have very dry skin, especially when the heater is going, and I usually have a little space heater next to me, and I have a bedside portable humidifier thing. So it's like drying, humidifying, all the things in the winter, and I have really, really dry skin. And then last winter, I had a microneedling facial, and afterwards, I was sort of like peeling and flaky for a few days. And the point of slugging is to like occlusively lock in moisture, right? Because Vaseline and Aquaphor are not permeable. So I did slug for like 1 or 2 nights in a row, and it made my skin like so soft in the morning when I took it all off. So I was working with a damaged skin barrier. I had a procedure, and so I put in my serum and then a moisturizer, and then the very last step of my routine that night is I put Aquaphor all over my face and neck. And I changed my pillowcase because we also have very expensive sheets from like Sfera, like Sferra. Yeah, that's like my favorite sheets brand. But I'm like, a pillowcase costs how much? So I'm like, the hell if I'm getting Aquaphor all over this pillowcase.
Thank you.
So I went on Amazon and ordered like some cheap pillowcases and changed my pillowcases because I knew that I was going to be like slipping and sliding, and I sleep like a crazy person. Like when I wake up, you know, everything's crazy. So I guess the last step of my skincare routine is that I change my pillowcase. But I will tell you, if you have very dry skin, if you have just gone to like a ski week or something, and your skin is just parched, slugging can be a good technique to kind of bring your skin back to its equilibrium. But for those who are acne prone or oily or not struggling with dryness, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think for a 1 or 2 night treatment of very dry skin, like you said, if you've been skiing and your skin is dry and cracked, I can totally see how it would lock in moisture. But if you're like me and have oily skin or you're acne prone, I would definitely proceed with caution before you lather your face with Aquaphor or Vaseline.
I just wanted to tell you about something that I have been doing. It is an online platform called the Swell Score, and it's amazing. It's basically carefully curated health and wellness products. For example, I got my personal sauna there. It's an infrared sauna that comes with a bench. I sit inside, I sweat it out, I do my breathing exercises, and it's just so helpful for my health and wellness journey. And I love that you can get a membership to the Swell Score for only $49 a year, and it gives you 15 to 20% off of all their products.
You know what I think is so important is where you purchase your products from. A lot of people use Amazon because it's easy and you get this Prime 2-day delivery, but there's a lot of counterfeits on Amazon. Amazon has done a great job of selling all sorts of products, but sometimes you think you're buying a vitamin supplement from a certain brand, and then you get it and you realize that it's a counterfeit product. And at the Swell Score, you are guaranteed that you are getting actual legitimate products that are high quality. And like Tiffany said, you're getting them at a discounted rate. And for our Scrubs to Stilettos listeners, when you join the Swell, you're also going to get a $25 gift card in addition to the discounted membership.
Amazing. So go to the Swell and sign up with code SCRUBS to get your annual membership with a $25 gift card.
So if you guys are looking for a place to find great wellness products, water filters, saunas, supplements, please check out the Swell Score. We're going to go ahead and add the URL below. And like Tiff said, we're going to offer a discounted membership and a $25 gift card for all of our Scrubs to Stilettos listeners. But you did mention slugging, which made me think of a snail. And we have seen this snail mucin trend all over Instagram and TikTok. Snail mucin is really popular in a lot of Korean beauty brands and K-beauty, and it is getting a lot of traction for helping your skin to regenerate and boost hydration. Have you personally ever tried any of these snail toxins or snail mucin products?
Yes, I've tried two. One was like a little ampule that you kind of had to like crush and break. And my esthetician told me to use that like post microneedling. And she thought that that would help. It was fine. I don't think it was amazing, but it was, I don't know, it was fine. And then I bought one off of Amazon that was like $20 during the last Prime Day, and it does nothing. Like, I don't think it has any active ingredients in it. Also, it was like $20. And I don't know, I am one of those people that tends to think, and this might be a little bit of placebo effect, but I tend to think like the more expensive it is, the better it is for you. I don't think that with makeup.
That same problem too. I don't know why.
I don't think that with makeup. Like, I think makeup by and large, like if you sent me into CVS, which I once forgot to pack my makeup on a trip and was like, crap. So I bought all new makeup in a CVS before I had to go on like a public appearance for something. And that makeup was fine. Maybelline, L'Oreal, Physicians Formula, like drugstore makeup can be amazing. But when it comes to skincare, I personally believe that more expensive is better. So on my counter, I have all the expensive things. And I didn't like the snail mucin. It's like maybe 20% used, and I'm probably just going to throw it away.
I'm sure that there are wonderful products that are inexpensive, like a lot of, my kids have eczema, and I use a lot of like Avene products, Aveen, and they're very hydrating for eczema, and they're not super expensive. They're like $20 drugstore brands or whatnot. I'm sure that there are wonderful brands, but I, like you, tend to buy medical grade skincare products, things that are at my dermatologist's office or when I get procedures. I personally have not tried snail mucin products. I'm not really familiar with a lot of the Korean beauty products, but I did do some research about it in preparation for our show. And there are some scientific studies on the snail mucin. Basically what it is it's like the sticky, slimy essence that snails secrete. And it's supposed to be very high in hyaluronic acid concentration. Hyaluronic acid is a super hydrator of the skin. Basically, it binds water molecules and it pulls them in. So if you lather something on your face that's rich in hyaluronic acid, it's supposed to pull moisture into the skin and be really hydrating. It's also supposed to have like allantoin and all these antioxidants. So it is supposed to be really good. The scientific research are, small studies, so it's not super strong, but there is some evidence to show that it is hydrating and good for your skin.
Yes. So tell us if you would try. I've actually seen a TikTok of this. Someone had live snails on their face. This was not in America. And it was being marketed as like the snail facial. I don't think I would have live snails on my face.
No, I like to use my snail extract to be purified, and maximized, and optimized for my skin. I don't necessarily want to grab a garden snail and have it just like secrete its stuff all over me, but
Yeah. And then there is something called leech therapy that is
That is real.
actually used, which is for real because leeches have in their spit saliva like anticoagulants. And so for patients that have had head and neck cancer, for example, and maybe extensive reconstructions where the blood supply is a little bit iffy, I have seen some of our otolaryngology colleagues or plastic surgery colleagues use leech therapy as a last effort to preserve a graft or flap because of the blood supply. So that is a real thing.
That is a real thing. We do it in the ICU. It is not done on floor patients because you need to have one-on-one nurse monitoring because everyone has to account for the leeches if they put 4 on, and you have to make sure you get 4 out.
They get very fat.
Yes.
The leeches drink and they get bigger. I'm like, oh, that one got really fat.
Yes. So
It's
it is
kind of
a real
crazy.
thing. Mother Nature is an incredible thing, and there are leeches that we use for therapy. Just like I do believe that there's probably some benefit to snail mucin. I personally haven't tried it, but I would be willing to give it a try if I knew of a good quality brand. So for any of our listeners, if you have tried a snail mucin product and you think it worked well for you, drop it in the comments below or DM Tiffany. We're curious to know anyone's experience with snail mucin. Have you been seeing people washing their face with dandruff shampoo lately? You know, like selenium blue or these ketoconazole, meconazole face washes?
No, I've not personally seen it, but what is the purported benefit?
So people are saying that it's supposed to be help clear out breakouts. So if you have acne prone skin, you should use selenium blue or a ketoconazole, any of these like athlete foot washes for your face, and it's supposed to help with acne. But here's the thing. Acne can have multiple causes. You can have acne that's caused by fungal overgrowth, but you can also have acne that's related to bacterial overgrowth, related to, overly oily skin. So treating it with an antifungal without knowing the source of your acne can be really irritating to the skin because you're not supposed to use these as daily face washes. You're supposed to use them under the guidance of a dermatologist as instructed once or twice a week. And so if you're using this every day, it can be really harsh on your skin and can actually damage your skin barrier. So I don't recommend using any sort of antifungal on your face unless you've been proven to have fungal overgrowth.
Yes, that's weird to me. Yeah, I would say get to the root cause of why you're having acne. Largely, it's a bacteria that you have. Maybe it's cyclical and changes with your hormone cycle. But I would get to the end crux of what your acne is being caused by and not just like use shampoo for the face. That seems too harsh for me.
Correct. And, like I said, acne can be caused by multiple things. If you're suffering from acne, it's best to go see a dermatologist. And like Tiff said, get to the root cause because they can culture the skin. They can figure out what it is that's leading to the acne. And then you can target your therapy according to the cause. I, for example, had what I thought was a ringworm, right? Because I go to the gym a lot, I work out, and I had this oval patch, probably about a little bigger than a quarter. And it was like right here on my flank. I was like, okay, maybe I like leaned up against a machine at the gym or I was doing abs on the floor and I got this ring. And I went to medical school. It looked like a ringworm to me. I went to CVS and I got an antifungal wash and an antifungal ointment. And I was doing it for about a month, washing it every day, putting the ointment, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I was like, what is going on? Why is this not going away? So finally, I decided, Nicole, you're not a dermatologist. You don't know what this lesion is on your flank. Go to the doc. So I went to the dermatologist. They scraped it. Sure enough, I have nummular eczema. It is not a ringworm, and all of the washes that I was doing and the ointment that I was putting on was making the eczema worse because eczema, it tends to be sensitive skin that is dry, and I just kept drying it more and more and more with this wash. So that is my point, that if you have something, instead of just blindly treating it with an antifungal, go get tested to make sure that you're treating the right thing, because even me, I was fairly certain it was a ringworm and it was actually nummular eczema.
Wonderful. And you were making it worse.
No, and I
Great.
was making it worse, right?
Yeah.
But I've never had eczema before, and it was one lesion. Usually eczema, you have several areas with it, but it was the most bizarre presentation of nummular eczema I've ever seen.
Yeah, for some reason, I think us physicians are prone to bizarre presentations of things that, normal people, it's not like classic textbook diagnosis.
Yeah.
No.
So that's my advice and,
Yeah.
personal story of how you shouldn't just jump the gun and start treating yourself with things that you're not sure.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to this one. At home microneedling or dermarolling. Have you tried it?
I am a huge fan of microneedling. However, I don't do my microneedling at home. I get microneedling done, I would say, fairly often. I would probably once a quarter, I try to do microneedling. Done by a professional esthetician at a doctor's office. The idea is that in a controlled fashion, the microneedles penetrate the skin and cause micro trauma, and that stimulates your body's cellular response to heal. So it makes fibroblasts come to the area to heal. That promotes collagen synthesis. So you're stimulating your body's own cellular process to build more collagen as a result of the micro trauma. I like to do it in the office because you are using needles to puncture the skin, which means there is a risk of infection. Anytime a needle tears through the skin, there's a risk of infection. So you want to make sure that your skin is clean. You want to make sure that the needles that you're using are sterilized. A lot of people that do it at home use the same dermal roller over and over and over again with no regard for sterility. They may or may not wash and prep their face appropriately. So I think that predisposes patients to unnecessary risk of infection. And you also want to do the trauma in a controlled fashion. You don't want to tear the skin because that can also result in scarring. And so if you don't know what you're doing and you're just going over the same area over and over and over again, the needles are blunt and it's not the right roller, you can actually trauma the skin to the point where you get scarring.
Yeah, I actually did it several years ago. I bought different 0.2 or 0.3 for my skin, and I did it at home. I did pay attention to sterility as much as I could. I sanitized with alcohol, and then I rolled my own face. But one, I don't think it's effective because you're not going deep enough to cause the microtrauma, to stimulate the fibroblasts, to make the collagen. It's just, you're not going deep enough. You're not numbing your face. When I go get it done at the dermatologist's office, and I go maybe twice a year, they numb my face for a good 30 minutes.
Correct.
My face and neck are numb, dead. And they're going to much deeper levels of microneedling that I cannot achieve at home. And so I basically just threw away my derma rollers. But I will tell you, 2 months ago, I started rolling my scalp because I heard that it can help with hair growth. So I'll do it on my scalp and then put this hair serum that I like from One Skin. So I have been doing that because I noticed that my hair is thinning. It's just, I have to tie my ponytail holder 3 times around now because my little sad ponytail is this big. So I am not rolling my face anymore at home, but I am rolling my scalp.
Yeah, I think to your point, the at-home rollers, when you do them without any numbing, they tend to be a smaller, more superficial needle. And that's not to say that there's no benefit to that. It still can increase blood flow to the area. It still can have benefits, but I just think we need to kind of proceed with caution, make sure that if you are doing it at home, you're using proper sterile technique, that you're not over-traumatizing the area. Don't do it every single night. Just make sure you pay attention to the process that you're using so that you don't increase your risk of infection or trauma to the skin.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's move on to part 2, what TikTok has gotten right. I do think that there are a number of physician educators on TikTok who are really helping us to learn about dermatology and skin and what to do and what not to do. I will say that I think, ever since the proliferation of social media, people are more cognizant of using SPF. What do you think?
Yes, I think there is a lot of pro SPF propaganda out there, which I think is important. I have also been seeing a lot of trends regarding skin cycling, and I am a huge advocate of skin cycling. It's what I do. So I tend, I just mentioned that I was diagnosed with eczema. So I do have like sensitive type skin. I cannot use retinols all the time because if I use a retinol for more than 3 days in a row, I will instantly get red, irritated, dry, flaky skin. So I do have more sensitive type skin. So I use a skin cycling technique, which basically means that you rotate your active products. You give your skin time to heal and hydrate before you use them again. So an example would be on a Monday, I may use a light acid like an AHA, BHA to kind of exfoliate, remove dead skin. The next day, I may use an active like a retinol. And then Wednesday and Thursday, I will hydrate without any retinol or acids. So you kind of alternate between an acid, a retinol, and then you hydrate your skin to repair the barrier. And then you kind of repeat the cycle.
Yes, this is like advanced skincare. A lot of people are like, I wash my face and use the same moisturizer every night. I'm like, that's okay. But if you wanted to get into more advanced levels of skincare, which you may need as you enter your 4th or 5th decade of life and on, that is one good thing. I still cannot handle a retinoid. I have an over-the-counter Retinal, like in AL that I use, which is the precursor. So it's over-the-counter. It's not prescribed, and it's a I think, gentler, less active ingredient form. And I still feel like I'm getting some of the benefits of the cellular turnover, but it's not making my face angry because I have very sensitive skin and I can't handle those prescription retinoids.
Yeah, no, and there's a lot of research and scientific evidence to support the use of a retinol in an anti-aging skin regimen. It's been shown to improve cell turnover, improve, the appearance of skin, but it is harsh, like you said, especially people that are using stronger prescription strength retinols. Like, they can be very abrasive. So I think the idea of doing a skin cycling regimen where you kind of give your skin a break in between retinol uses can be really helpful for people like us that have sensitive skin.
Yes, exactly. What else has TikTok gotten right? I think we've seen a lot over the last few years of young people getting into skincare. My girls are 10 and they want to go to Sephora all the time. And I'm like, you're too young for makeup. And they're like, we want to look at skincare. I'm like, your skin is perfect. Your skin will never be more perfect than it is when you're 10 years old. So explain to me what possibly you could need. And they want to go look at Drunk Elephant, Glow Recipe, Sol de Janeiro, like they want to buy this stuff. And I just think that maybe we need to direct our teens towards something not so focused on products and beauty and more like living a healthy lifestyle, staying hydrated, applying SPF. So what have you seen in terms of that?
I see a lot of teen TikTok skincare trends. They put their little wrist guards on for the water splashing, and they put the big headband that looks like Ariel from The Little Mermaid, and then they lather on all the Drunk Elephant stuff. And I think it's a lot. When you're 10 and 12 years old, your skin is perfect. It's hydrated. You've got tons of collagen. And I think that they're almost doing themselves a disservice by lathering all of these products. It's probably going to make them break out because their skin is so sensitive. But I think it's also nice to teach them to take care of their skin, right? But we just don't need a 10-fold routine for them at that age. Like, yes, wash your skin with a gentle cleanser, maybe put a little moisturizer cream on, and SPF. The end.
Yeah, I kind of tried to shift the focus away from skincare products to a self-care routine. So now my girls and I will sometimes have a spa day at home and we'll do like facials on each other and I'll have them lay down and I'll try to mimic the things that my facialist does when I get a facial, but half the time I'm passed out and I don't know what's happening. So I like put a little oil on their skin and then I rub it and then I do the gua sha that I put in the refrigerator so it's like nice and cold and I just do a little massage on them and I'm like, this is how we take care of ourselves. This is how we, invest in our own recharging of batteries so that we can give to other people. So I try to like shift the focus a little bit.
Yeah, I like that idea of not so much just skincare, but more self-love. You hydrate and take care of your skin from inside. Go, drink some water, brush your, like a whole routine of just like self-care, but not necessarily focused on the skin. Because at 10 years old, I was like, your skin is perfect.
I know. If we could only have that 10-year-old skin again.
Oh, that collagen, that bounce back, that elasticity. Enjoy it, little ones.
Okay, let's move on to the next part, which is skincare red flags and how to vet TikTok advice. I am always a little bit wary when I see that a creator is being paid to make content about a particular product. I say this also as a creator who is paid to make content about certain products, but I have very, very high standards for the products that I promote. I probably turn down more deals than I accept.
Same.
In terms of paid partnerships. One, because I just don't have the time. And two, if I cannot honestly and enthusiastically say that I like this product and I would buy it with my own money, then I won't promote it. And I also won't agree to promoting something before I've tried it, because I did that one time and then they sent the product and I was like, oh, I don't really like this. And they were like, your video's due next Thursday. So I had to go back and say, like, I don't really like this product. I don't think you want me making a video because it's not going to be a very good video. And I was able to get out of it. But after that, I learned not to agree to promote something until I had tried it a couple of times. So what is your feeling in regards to people promoting certain products on TikTok?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I am of the same mindset that I turn down more brand deals than I accept, because a lot of the brands just don't align with me as a person, what I stand for, what my tastes and quality control are. If I don't normally use a product, I don't promote it. Like, for example, I am a brand ambassador for Armora Colostrum. I take it every single day. It's probably somewhere around here in one of my luggages. But it's something that I actually use. So for me, it's really easy to speak to it. I don't feel comfortable speaking about something that I personally wouldn't use or don't use. But I don't think that every creator has that same level of care or standard. So I think you just need to be cautious. When something is a paid ad, is this someone that's selling a different type of product every single day? Or is this someone that kind of picks and chooses and is constantly talking about the same products over and over again, right? I think if a creator is constantly talking about the same product over and over, it's over a long period of time, it's probably a brand that they stand by personally versus just the brand, the brand du jour. So just, you need to be just cautious of who you're taking advice from also. I do have a couple dermatology accounts that I really like and I follow, and I use their information and the content they create as advice for myself. But then there's other people that I'm like, who are you and why are you talking about skincare?
Yeah. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is that social media equalizes us in most regards, because anybody can open up their camera, say something with an authoritative tone, and to the unsuspecting consumer, you think that they have business talking about that, and they may not. I am very careful who I take skincare advice from. Most of my friends are board certified dermatologists. I also have a very lovely esthetician that I've been working with for several years. But just because you see a video about how you should put lemon juice on your zit to dry it out, that is not backed by scientific evidence. So just take with a grain of salt the advice that is coming from people with unverified credentials.
Yeah. I mean, Tiffany and I are both board certified anesthesiologists, but I have been a skincare lover forever. I also own a skincare brand. So for me to kind of jump on these skincare trends nilly-willy without any scientific evidence or research or evidence to support it, it's it's hard, which is why I laugh at a lot of these things when I see them. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're not doing that. Like the beef tallow on your face, not happening. Like I'm not rubbing basically glorified butter on my face. Like it's just I'm gonna wake up with pimples everywhere is what's gonna happen.
And it doesn't smell very good. It has like an animal-y smell.
It's gonna. I don't want to smell like 90
Bone marrow.
zoo. I don't want to get pimples. No, thank you.
Yeah.
But I think you need to proceed with caution. You did mention lemon juice on a zit, and I have seen that as a home remedy for pimples. And a word of caution with the lemon juice, guys, it's highly acidic. So one, it can be really irritating to the skin, but there's also a chemical in lemon juice that sensitizes you to the sun and can actually cause skin hyperpigmentation. So if you apply lemon juice to a pimple and you go outside and you get sun, you can get a pretty gnarly skin stain as a result of it. I will never forget. I was on the boat and I was drinking a beer and I squeezed a lemon into my beer and I got some lemon juice on my hand and I ended up with these brown hyperpigmented spots on my hand from the lemon juice being out on the boat. And those spots lasted for weeks, like until the skin cycle went through and that skin sloughed off. I had brown spots on my skin. So caution with the lemon juice and the skincare, especially if
Let's
you're in
save the lemon juice for our cocktails and mocktails and not for our skincare routine.
Correct.
They do not belong in the bathroom.
Yeah. I get the idea of using natural elements for skincare, but lemon's one of those ones that's
It's a little harsh.
Yeah, it's abrasive for sure.
Okay, let's get to our closing. If you had one piece of skincare advice that every woman could follow, what would that be?
Oh, and Lord, I wish I would have done this when I was younger. Instead, I was young and dumb and loved the sun. I like sun protection. Sun protection at a young age, sun protection every day, because whether you realize it or not, even just sitting in the car in traffic, that little bit of sun exposure that's coming through the window, it is so damaging to your skin. And I feel like I have so much hyperpigmentation, so much sun damage that I'm battling now because I didn't use sunscreen when I was younger.
Yes. For mine, I would say that good skin comes from within. And what I mean by that is you can have all these expensive creams and do lasers and treatments and stuff like that. But if you are not staying hydrated, if you are not getting an adequate amount of sleep, your skin is not going to look good. In fact, in times where I have been stressed and not taking good care of myself, and I look back from pictures, my skin looks different. And even my makeup artist said, she was like, have you been stressed out lately? And I was like, no, why? And she's like, your skin is dry and it's a little bit flaking. Like, it seems not typical. And I was like, oh, I haven't been sleeping well. I've been traveling a lot. It's hard to stay hydrated when you're traveling, And so I would just say we talked a lot today about like external treatments that we do to our skin, but please remember that you need to stay hydrated, make sure that you're eating good whole foods that nourish you, have vitamins and minerals and not Cheetos, and get your sleep, because that is actually what gives you that radiance from within.
Yeah, I think oftentimes we forget that our skin is our largest organ. It's not, you think organs, you think your heart, your kidneys, your pancreas, like people forget about their skin, and it is ultimately a reflection of your health. And your health is your hydration status, your nutrition status, how well rested you are. And all of those things will impact the appearance of your skin. You don't sleep well, you're not eating well, you're stressed out, you wake up, you're tired, you've got fine lines, your skin looks cracked. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special visitor.
Hi, Gray Gray.
Grayson.
Oh.
When you go to summer camp every morning, what does mommy try to put on you that you fight me on every day?
I forgot.
Your sunscreen?
Yeah.
Your sunscreen?
When the girls were little, I'm talking like 2, 3-ish, they called it sunscreen. Like, mommy, don't forget the sunscreen.
Grayson does not like to put on sunscreen, and he has a scratch on the side of his face that he got this year in school. So I'm extra crazy about putting sunscreen on it because scars tend to hyperpigment if you don't, protect them from the sun. So he's not a
We're
fan.
just trying to be good moms.
I know.
Okay, I think that is it for this week's episode. If you guys have any questions about skincare, health, beauty, fitness, wellness, please drop us a comment. And as always, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Bye, guys.